What's going on, everybody? I hope everybody's doing well. I believe it's Thursday. Yeah, it's Thursday. The reason why I say I believe it's Thursday, man, just been working so much and days starting to run together. I know I haven't made a video in a while. You know, definitely guilty of that. I've been been working a lot of hours, listening to the news, which I try not to listen to the news that much, but I know I need to stay informed. To be honest with you, man, it's draining from the constant floods we're having all over the world. That in itself is just extremely crazy. From seeing what ICE is doing pretty much state to state. And I know some people may have their opinion on that, but you're entitled to your opinion just like I'm entitled to mine. I don't believe in breaking no family up, man. But more than anything, I believe in people being treated like humans. That's when I draw the line, is when you not treating people like humans. You know, America, I tell you, you better wake up, because we have a history in America of that, not treating people like humans. And you know, from that, not knowing if we're about to go to war because, you know, somebody, you know, went and did what they did and expected whatever results he was expecting, but now you pretty much put America in jeopardy. Innocent people are going to be in jeopardy, especially if something nuclear happens, which we all know a lot of people have the ability to do this. And when that happens, it's over. All it takes for somebody to want to do that, it's over. So I haven't made any videos because I'm just kind of watching this, and in my mind I'm saying to myself, how can I prepare for this? And I just told myself, okay, I can basically start with looking at preparedness. You know, there's a lot of videos about prepping and things like that. I just told myself, you know, if the power went out, which, you know, unfortunately if something happened and Greg go out, do I have backup power? You know, do I have a gas generator, which that gas generator is only going to be good for so much, so as much as you got gas, you know. So then I had to think of another alternative, which is a solar generator. You know, and of course the solar generator allows you to have a backup power station. And you know, I got an EcoFlow 2. If any, this is an older one. This is a smaller one, but I've been experimenting with this for a while. And I've even got to the point where, you know, I just try to think of preparedness. What happens if I'm away and something like this happens? You know, it don't really do no good if it's only at home. So I started making me a preparedness bag. And that preparedness bag has simple things in it. Another way of communicating in the event that cell phones go down. You know, you can use a CB radio or a ham radio, which requires a license. You still can receive, but until you get your license, you can't transmit. Let's just say, I don't know, some backup food, you know, in the event that the way these floods are going on right now, you somewhere and, you know, you need to be able to have a bag or something, even if it's for protection, for food, for like just any occasion, it really has made me focus on, I need to make sure that I'm straight in the event that I got to leave my vehicle and walk somewhere in the midst of chaos. And I know a lot of us don't want to think about that in America, but we got a lot going on right now. Drinking my lime water. Yeah, I put me some lime inside the water so I can start drinking water more. But yeah, it's just so much negativity that I had to make sure that I didn't allow myself to get caught in the rut, you know. So my goal is to get with like-minded people, and I'm even going to introduce some camping in. I've never been camping before, so I think it's good because now it's going to help me get out the house. And I want to get with some like-minded people that want to camp, want to learn how to even just kind of experiment with survival. You know, a lot of us are so used to just going to our TV set and hitting that remote and the power comes on. Well, if that don't happen, how you gonna, you know, if power goes out for a few days, how you gonna keep yourself busy? How are you gonna keep your food from spoiling? You know, if you have loved ones that have to be on some type of CPAP machine, I mean, this can be some dire consequences if we don't think about this, because as much as the power companies would want to get us online, if something happened where there's a sabotage for something like that, it's going to put America back into the Stone Age. So I say now is the time to get, even if you can't get with some like-minded people in your area, we need to start having these conversations. So my goal right now, anybody that sees this video that's in, let's just say I'm in Georgia, Metro Atlanta to be exact. I ain't gonna tell exactly where I'm at, but my friends and family know. But anybody that's in this area, I think we should start a community of preparedness, learning how to grow food, learning how to harvest food, learning how to hunt, you know, small game or big game. You know, I never ate a squirrel or nothing like that, you know. I didn't grow up country like that, and there's nothing against nobody that grew up like that. Trust me, you do what you gotta do. But if it gets to the point where, I don't know, you got squirrel, rabbit, whatever you got around you, and you see it every day, you ain't got no food, ask yourself what you gonna do. There's only so much leaves you can eat, meaning lettuce. There's only so much. I never would have thought I would think, but it's real. Like, seriously, we need to really think about this. This can happen in the blink of an eye. And how many people, like I said, really have a backup communication? Just, you know, because I remember vividly when 9/11 happened and picking up the phone, and I know I'm going back, picking up the phone, and the lines were just busy. You couldn't get through. You couldn't make no calls because everybody was trying to make a call at one time. And this happened a while back. So since then, I've looked into CB radio. I had me one of those I purchased. I've looked into a ham radio, which is, it can be handheld or you can have a base. And I even told myself, even if I have it, what happens if my peers around me don't have it? So it's like, you have to prepare for you and the people around you, because if you need to communicate with somebody else and you're the only one with that, and that's the person, that these are the only people that you trust, we in bad shape. Because the government if a flood or something happened, look at how many people are still stranded out here. They coming after the fact. And trust me, they got thousands of people ahead of you before they even get to you. And that's hoping that they can get to you. And that's even hoping that you survive so they can get to you. I've also looked into another way of cooking in heat source. Meaning, you know, you got, obviously, if anybody has a charcoal grill at the house, you know, I know we only use charcoal grills in the summertime. But in an emergency situation, a charcoal grill, you basically can heat. You can heat up anything, water, purified water, cook, whatever. So I even looked into something that's called a rocket stove. I made a video on it, but the audio didn't come through as good, so I'll be doing another one. And there's ways of purchasing these things, and there's also ways of making it out of regular stuff you just have laying around the house. So yeah, it's just right now, you know, with all the stuff that's going on, man, America's in a bad spot right now. It really is. And I just say right now is the time to get your house in order, meaning get you some, let's just say power goes out or something like that, or water goes out. Do you have backup water at the house? Do you have enough